Right? You have officially, in the watch community, scored big. This is Vostok, the very first today's top value. It is a limited edition. Do we have thousands? Absolutely not. You have your choice of the orange, the red, or the green. This is the Anchor T25. Limited edition. It was named after the fastest submarine ever built. Craig Hester is here. You're going to take us all through this. I am so glad you are here. I cannot believe that we are I couldn't even speak to Tim when I saw him earlier.
Because he was
I was
so
like,
upset.
I am so excited that we have this. Let's go back and talk about Vostok for 1 second, set people up to understand what this brand is about.
Yeah, Vostok Europe, which is based in Vilnius, Lithuania, if you haven't seen us talking about it before on the show, is really the only Eastern European watchmaker. They are kind of a blend of the Russian history, but they are built in Vilnius, Lithuania, and everything there is designed, hand-assembled by a very small team of Russian and Eastern European watchmakers, what I would refer to as a boutique brand.
Right.
They have been making watches since 2004, and prior to that, they built watches for Polyot and some of the former Russian watchmakers.
So let's do this. Let's give them some big things here. This case, first of all, you're going to get the box. You're going to get the leather strap. You're going to get the silicone strap. You're going to get all the tools to change it out. But what's the number one thing on this? The titanium?
Well, the titanium, I think, is the biggest story here to put it into. To give you the big picture. Every single Vostok Europe has a story. They're built around a theme, something from Russian history, usually something mechanical. In this case, it is the world's fastest submarine that was ever built. Even to today, it still holds the record as the world's fastest submarine, which is the Anchar. And it actually isn't Anchor, and forgive me for correcting that, but it's not. It has nothing to do with the anchor of a ship. It actually, Anchar is the name of a poisonous Russian tree, and I'll get to that later. But that is the name of the submarine. Why it's special that this one is in titanium, or titanium, as Igor, who owns Vostok Europe, would say, is the Anchar was the first submarine with an all-titanium hull. Why? What's special about titanium? Titanium, for weight to strength ratio, is the strongest metal on Earth, meaning you can't get a metal lighter that's stronger. So that's why they put titanium on the hull, because it gave them the strength of steel, but it made it a much lighter submarine so that it could go much faster.
So this entire case,
The entire case. The thing about this is stainless, compared to surgical grade stainless steel, when you're building a watch with a titanium case, if pound for pound, it costs about twice as much to build a titanium case as it does a stainless steel case. This particular watch has 60 grams.
60 grams.
60 grams of titanium in it. Okay.
You told me that earlier. I was like, what? What?
Well, now let me give you a comparison.
I actually stopped you twice on that.
Yeah. Let me give you a comparison. The stainless steel version of this is 100 grams. Okay. So this is almost half as light as the standard Anchar and stainless steel, but just as strong.
This is beautiful.
So, and it is a tremendous amount of titanium in here. To quickly run through the things you're getting with this watch, you're getting the titanium case. You're getting 20 tritium tubes in this watch. Tritium tube technology gives you the constant illumination. This is the most tubes that Vostok Europe has ever put in any of their watches. One of the things that's special about this one as well is it's the first Anchar where the tritium tube is actually on the second hand.
On the second hand.
When the originals were built, one of the things that several people came back, particularly professional divers, because at 30 ATM, this is a true professional diver watch.
Right.
They said, look, if you're gonna do the tritium, put it on the second hand so we know, so no matter what the light condition is, we can see that the watch is still operating. Because one of the requirements of the international divers, and I don't know the technical name of their association, but to be a true professional diver, you have to be able to know that the watch is functioning all the time. And one of the key ways to do that is to be able to see the sweep second hand. So this has the tritium on the second hand. It comes with the 2 straps. Now, I did have several people ask me, because these are very bright straps. The silicone is a striking color. I mean, nobody's gonna miss this watch. But I did have several people.
Guys, just go there. It is hot. It is so hot. Craig can't even touch it right now.
Yeah, there you go.
No, but you see what I'm saying? I know that you're looking at this and maybe you are saying, wow, that's bright. But man, I know it's coming.
Well, I like it. I like it. I like people to notice my watch, of course, but I have had several people ask me, and we do have examples where you can show them on the leather.
Okay.
So they can see it if they want a little more subdued.
Like here's
on
the
leather.
orange. It has the match stripe.
It has the matching contrast stitching.
Contrast stitching as well.
I did have several people ask me, is it possible to get a black silicone for this if I wanted it? Yes, you can connect with me on Facebook, either the Watch Comrade with K or my name. For a few rubles down the road, I can get you a black silicone if that's important to you.
Rubles.
Don't not buy this watch because you want black silicone. We can take care of that.
And and I'm going to turn this thing back over to you, but I need you guys to understand that these are limited edition.
Yes.
We
don't have a huge quantity here.
No, let me tell you what we could bring in for the show. Literally, I think there's about 200 or so of each. That is it.
Yeah, if that
red,
many.
Is that it by many? I'm going to get an update here. If you want the red, clearly the red is going to go first.
Oh, really? We thought the green.
The red is under 100?
We thought the green was going to be the first to go.
Red will be, don't wait for Tim on this one, sorry, Tim. Red will be the first to go. There's fewer than 100 there. If you want to do the orange, where are we at with the orange? See, I think the green is hot. The green is
everybody thought the green would be the big one, and we
Green's
went
money,
deepest on
man. That is gorgeous.
I loved the one I took for my personal collection, and I'm not trying to drive anybody towards any color. I took the green. I just like that it's different. It's the first one of this kind of green configuration that Vostok Europe has done. I want to show. I always have to have my goodies.
I love it.
I want to show. I took the case apart. Right. Just physically how much titanium is in this watch. I'm holding the different components.
Right.
All of this is titanium. I mean, this is a tremendously
I've never seen an
case.
entire case that was done.
Oh, I'm sure it has been, but I don't know if I've ever seen it with this much. I mean, this is a lot of titanium. This is a big, big case. This case back, look how thick the case back is on this. This is the ring that holds the case back in place. The case itself is all titanium, which, by the way, is hypoallergenic as well, if that matters to anybody, those who need to have that. Still has the movement holder actually is still surgical grade stainless steel. That's on the inside. To me, that just amazes me about the quality of Vostok Europe, that they make the movement holder, which nobody sees, as surgical grade stainless steel.
Yeah.
The crystal on this, 3.5 millimeter thick crystal. This watch, a different version of this watch was just recently used in the Dakar Rally, which is a 9,000 kilometer motocross race, and the driver wore a similar version of this Anchar. After the race was over, they tested the watch. It wasn't gaining or losing more than 2 seconds a day after the race.
Wow.
And the crystal got hit by a rock while he was flying on this motocross.
Really?
There was a little nick in it. Any other crystal would have shattered. I mean, the quality of construction. One of the things we didn't mention too, this does have an upgraded movement in it. This is the NH35 in this watch. This gives you two features that the previous versions of the Anchar that were automatic did not have. You can hack, which means you can make the second hand stop if you want to synchronize your watches, as they say. And this can be manually wound. It's not just wearing it on the wrist or putting it on a winder. You actually can manually wind this watch, which the previous versions you couldn't do.
For those of you that are watching, I do want to let you know right now we're launching this today's top value early because of customer demand today. We could not wait until the midnight hour. We know a lot of you that are watch collectors, are true watch collectors, totally get all of this. Limited edition with the titanium case, 60 grams of it. It is the most tritium tubes that has been done not on this style, but on any Vostok.
On any Vostok Europe. And
I mean, that's huge.
Yeah, it has the brightest illumination. For those of you who aren't familiar with what tritium tube illumination is, and by the way,
you're like the expert on it.
Look
at it. It's like, written articles about it, everything.
I reposted the articles. I did write a series of articles for International Watch Magazine about 1.5 years, 2 years ago about lume. Multiple types of lume. There was one article that focused mostly on tritium and the tritium tubes. If you want to see that again, look for me, Watch Comrade with a K, or my name on Facebook, and you can find those articles. I have learned a lot about tritium over the years. I did figure this might be an opportunity to clarify one thing. This is a T25. You have heard T100, but even though this is a T25, this is the most luminosity that has been in any Vostok Europe ever.
Okay.
one of the misnomers people too tend to say is they say T25 tubes or T100 tubes.
Yeah, what's
There's
the
really no such thing.
Okay.
What that really is talking about is the total amount of millicuries of tritium in the watch. And at the T25 level, that means you can't have any more than 25 millicuries in a watch that's marked T25. At the T100, you can't have more than 100. You could literally have a watch that's 26 millicuries and it would still be marked as a T100. Now, nobody would do that because that would be foolish. You know, if you're gonna make that next leap, you might as well go. But they're pushing right up against the envelope of the T25. So this is the most illumination with 20 tubes and that extra tube on the second hand that you've ever seen in a Vostok Europe. It's extremely bright.
Here's the thing. I have the green on. I just want to tell you right now, remind you what you're going to be getting, because literally when Tim and Craig get out here next hour, it may be over for this ship. This ship may have sailed. Here's what you're going to get. You get the case, and I don't have a case closed. Maybe I do have one closed. Here is the case. Go ahead.
Well, no, I was just going to quickly say, too, I think it's important to note on this case, this is not an affectation. This isn't just a plastic case to look pretty. This is a true dry box. They test this box. The retail value on this box alone is $50. They test this box. They drop it onto concrete from 3 meters high 30 times. And if it's not still water resistant after the test,
sample gets out.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the thing.
Tremendous box with this.
You are also going to get, now I have mine that I'm wearing in the green on the silicone strap. It also comes with the leather. You get both of the tools. And here's the thing that I want you to know. This is smart. If you are a watch collector, you just got the first ever done with a complete titanium case. It is just coolness. There is a coolness factor about this watch that just, you feel it when you walk in the studio tonight. I was like, ha!
Now, and again, why titanium? Because the ship that this was named after, the boat that this was named after, the Anchar submarine, was the first ever all titanium hull submarine. What you're getting with titanium, why do you want to watch as opposed to surgical grade stainless steel? First of all, you're getting the same strength as stainless steel, but you're getting a much lighter watch. This is a big watch, okay? This is obviously not the biggest that Chubb and BC sells. Obviously, Invicta has some monsters.
No, we have one that's bigger than your head.
Yeah, but this is a big watch.
It is.
And this much stainless steel, you're talking about 100 grams of stainless steel versus 60 grams of titanium. You're getting a lighter, more comfortable wear with this being in titanium than you do in the stainless. I'm not saying it's an uncomfortable watch in the stainless. I don't want anybody to think that. But if you do want a little bit lighter, easier to wear.
With a big look.
But with the big look, this is the way to go.
All right.
You've got that great story.
This is going back up to 645, if there are any remaining. The orange has now fallen fewer than 100. The red is now fewer than 100. The green, where are we with the green here? This is supposed to last the entire day.
It's not going to. I don't think, but
There's no way. Green is the most popular, by the way.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
green
what we thought.
okay. Green and red are going. Here's the thing. Yeah, you have to show.
We only have 30-something seconds left, but I want to quickly show this. We did have coverage in International Watch.
iWatch, which is one of the single biggest publications.
And this actually gives you. There's the picture of the submarine.
Nice.
That is the namesake of. We went all out. We have been promoting the heck out of this. We are so excited to have our first TTV, and I am really excited that I got to launch it with you, Allison.
Thank
I know
you.
We're moving on to another watch now, but
I know. I'm going to keep this one on. Do you have it on?
I am actually wearing the next watch we're going to talk about.
That's why the green isn't selling, because you're not wearing it.
Well, I'll put it on.
I'm just kidding. Giving you a hard time. Okay, 449 11 5.